Life is something we all wish we could change at one point, but life is a learning experience.
Everyone's stories are unique. They have the power to unite others, and at times, to divide them.
Life is full of new experiences, so take chances and don't be afraid to live life your way.
Your life is yours. Live it your way.
So we're going to be talking about a few different things relating to inclusion and how that relates to the university experience students have at McMaster. It's kind of referred to as a statistic maybe that some students experience feelings of loneliness or feeling excluded, but it's not something that we actually talk about. What importance do you place on a sense of belonging?
Sense of belonging? I definitely place a large value on the sense of belonging. I myself do a lot of welcome week stuff. So I'm really into the inclusivity, get as many people involved, either interdisciplinary, campus involvement, extracurricular, stuff like that.
I think really a feeling of belonging, especially when you're sort of at a university sort of setting, this is, a very exciting time in your life. You're really sort of discovering yourself. I think a feeling of inclusion, feeling that you're part of this university community is really important to a student's success.
It's very important just for their own personal development and feeling included in what happens on the outside of the university walls is so important in reflecting what happens on the inside.
There's so many intramurals, there's so many different avenues you can go, so I definitely try to push people, not necessarily to go a certain way, but just whatever interest they are, definitely just try to get involved.
For a student to succeed, academically and socially, I think you need a sense of belonging, and, feelings of loneliness and depression sort of fall, in that for students who don't feel that they're getting the support that they need here is probably going to be very detrimental for their university experience.
Can you guys recall, do you have an early memory of first time you remember feeling excluded, or maybe first time you remember feeling excluded in a university environment?
Sure. In my third year, I was taking a upper year class. It was an elective, and I remember everyone in the class had known each other from before with the different classes that they had taken together, and the instructor seemed to know them as well, and sitting in a seminar with 30 other people I felt very excluded.
First time I went to a bigger school, I was in a really rural community, so the first time I went to a bigger school, it was really weird to kind of adjust to it. So many people. Mm-hmm. So that was, I guess, the first time I was kind of excluded, was just kind of trying to get used to a new environment.
Mm-hmm. And then, how did you feel in that situation?
Definitely kind of nervous, I think would be the best thing. It's just that it's so how do you go about entering a new environment? How do you make new friends? That kind of thing. So I think it was more nerves than anything.
I've always been a very social person and had an easier time making friends. I'm very outgoing, but sitting in that classroom and feeling very excluded. I identify as I personally have a learning disability. And because of that, because I wasn't getting any extra help, no one was reaching out to me, I felt like I was really falling behind in the classroom. I say it's because I'm dumb, I have a learning disability, or I'm not like all these other students, I can't keep up with them. And you're really down on yourself, and you're using that as an excuse as opposed to realizing it as something that might be a benefit that sets me apart, that I learn in a different way, and whatever it is. But it really made me question myself.
My first feeling of sort of being excluded at university is more of a social situation. I identify as gay, and sort of during my experiences, especially in first and second year, having a partner, I didn't always necessarily feel comfortable enough to, in social situations, be they formal dances or experiences at, campus nightclubs, to, express the same level of affection that my straight friends might choose to do. It was not something that I sort of felt that I was capable of doing, and in a way that was a sense of exclusion as well.
How do you think we could be more inclusive, specifically towards the group of students at McMaster that that identify as having disabilities?
Get them involved in more things, find more people with maybe the same sort of disability or same struggles, I guess. Because I guess there'd be a lot of mental struggles that go along with it, so maybe someone who's facing the same struggles so people can talk and relate. Stuff like that might be a good way to go. Or
do you think that diversity makes it easier for people to be inclusive or more difficult? Compared to, say, if you had a large group of people and they were all from the same background, have a similar life experience, that kind of thing.
I would say diversity makes it better because you have more avenues to go in. You have more, I guess, ideas, more perspectives on things. I think that's more inclusive. You just get different perspectives on different things. So that would be my opinion, I guess. But I can see how it would also make it more difficult. So
if anything, I think diversity makes it a little bit easier, just in the sense that a difference of opinion, being able to share different perspectives and life views. Part of that is going to be projected on those around you just because you're going to be talking about your own experiences, reflecting on your own experiences. I think, were everyone to be the same, I think that would be more difficult.
And you also have to consider the person who might feel like the only one in the group that is different. If you have a group of all different diverse people, it's much easier. It all depends on the social situation.